Are you looking for a color match routine without any technology whatsoever? How about a utility device to do multiple different routines? If so, the Nature Bag by Casey Tang and TCC might be for you. And the best part is, it's only $30. This is an outline of some drawings that we're going to color in a second, and these are 4 different slips of paper with the names of those drawings that are going to be colored in. And in each of these 4 bags, there is a Sharpie marker of a different color. So I would give this to the spectator and they can mix it up. I could be blindfolded right now, but they mix it up. They hand me one of them, it doesn't matter which one. And then I would just take one of the things and I would put it in, like let's say the tree. Let's put the tree inside the bag. And we'll close that up. Perfect. Now I'm going to give that to the first spectator. They'd hand me another bag, let's say this one. And I would take, let's say the sun, and we'll put the sun inside this bag. And I'd give this to them. And then they'd give me another bag, let's say this one. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to put inside maybe the cloud. We'll put the cloud inside. Perfect. And now we'll place the house in this last one. Now, as I said, there are markers in each of these bags. And now we put in what thing to color. So let's color it in. First, let's dump out everything in here. This is a blue tree, that means, and there's nothing else in there. So we color in the tree blue. Perfect. Now, let's get this one as well. A green sun. That's interesting, a green sun. There's the green sun. Let's get this one. And, okay, perfect. A black house. And there's one more. Cloud. A green cloud. Perfect. The crazy thing is, behind me this whole time, there was a prediction. I'll get it. And it exactly matches that drawing. And that is one of the routines you can do with the Nature Bag. I hope you enjoyed that quick handling of the color match. That is a little bit different from the one in the tutorial. I changed something up with the handling. The handling in the tutorial, the billets is what start off in the 4 Nature Bags. There's 4 billets, 1 in each Nature Bag, which describe what to color in, and then they hand you a bag and you put the pen in. But I switched it around, so the pens start in the bag, they hand you a bag and you put the billet inside. It's a small change, but I feel like it adds a little bit of impact to the effect. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the Nature Bag. What do you get when you buy the Nature Bag? When you buy the Nature Bag, you get this box. In the box, you get a normal black blindfold. You can't see through it at all. It is completely opaque, and you wrap it around your head. You can use this when you're performing, but you do not have to. It's optional. I know I didn't use it when I was showing you guys this. You also receive your 4 special Nature Bags, the star of the show. These 4 Nature Bags are inconspicuous, they look normal, and they each have a very cool feature that allows you to do a bunch of different things because these bags let you know something the audience doesn't know you're aware of. You also get the link to the tutorial, which has over 7 mentalism routines, which are pretty cool. What is the quality of the gimmick? The blindfold is good quality. It's a normal blindfold. You can really use any blindfold, I think. And there are no gimmicks at all with the blindfold. The blindfold should last you a while, and the bags are also good quality. The gimmick is completely unnoticeable to a spectator who doesn't know what to look for. There are really not any moving parts with the gimmick unless you consider the drawstring a moving part that you open and close the bags with. The gimmick is really clever and probably not what you expect. This is a little bit similar to a couple of other things, other systems like this that are on the market. And the drawstrings the bags, the Nature Bags are completely opaque. You can't see through them whatsoever, which is nice. And they have a nice quality to them. They feel soft. And this is really a utility system. You'll be able to experiment and perform your own routines with this, not just the routines taught in the tutorial. Speaking of which, how is the tutorial? The tutorial's 35 minutes long. They explain what you need to know, 6 different basic methods to this, and then they teach 7 mentalism routines, including super prediction, color match, a chair test, the color match drawing, personal object selection, and more. I thought that some of the routines in the tutorial were very good, but others could have been a little bit better, more fleshed out. The tutorial was very good though, and very detailed. They even use a clear plastic bag instead of the nature bag to explain some of the workings and some of the moves that you can do with this, which is nice. The lighting and video were very good, and I enjoyed the tutorial. But yes, some of the routines I felt could have been a little bit stronger or more justified, especially that super prediction routine. It was a good routine, but it could have been better if they didn't add the personal items in the bag. And it just had the billets. So there's just a billet in each bag. They pick one and they pick the only one with the check mark, and the rest have X's. I feel like it would have been more powerful if they just had that instead of having the objects in the bag as well, because it didn't feel like there was too much of a reason or justification for there to be personal objects in the bag. But other than that, I felt the routines and the teaching in the tutorial were pretty good. Is this a social media or a real life effect? This is definitely more of a real life effect than a social media trick. What are the angles like? The amazing thing about this effect is that if the spectator doesn't know what to look for, they won't see a thing. Therefore, this is completely angle proof. You can be surrounded 360 degrees. Are there live performances? No, there are no live performances in the tutorial, which is a little bit unfortunate. But it's fine, because they explain the handlings and they explain what is happening enough that you could understand the effect. Is this examinable? Yes, everything, for the color match routine at least, the pens are examinable. You provide your own pens. The nature bags are always examinable, and the blindfold is examinable as well. However, not all of the routines and completely examinable. It depends really on the routine you're doing. But for the majority of the routines, at the beginning and the end, everything can be examined. And the spectator will be likely unable to find a single issue with the bags unless they look extremely closely for a long period of time. Now let's talk about the difficulty and practicality of the effect. This is not an extremely difficult system to learn at all. In order to learn the system, you just need a couple of minutes of practice. And once you do know the system, you will not forget it. There's very little memory work required as well. This would be pretty practical for a close-up show, a parlor show, or even maybe a stage show, if you're performing the color match routine or something larger scale. That's what I like about the nature bag, is that it's scalable. It's incredibly scalable. That means this could be done close up, or it could also be scaled all the way up to a stage show. Is there any DIY required? This depends on the routine you're performing. The nature bags and the blindfold come ready to go out of the box, but for certain routines, you will need to print out pieces of paper and make some gimmicks and predictions. The routine covers how to construct the gimmicks and the props, but not all the routines require DIY though. There are some you could do as soon as you open up the nature bag box, like the one where you borrow objects from the spectators and you know who gave you the objects, even though the bags are closed and sealed, so you shouldn't be able to see through them, but you're magically able to know who gave you that bag or who gave you the object, and that's best done blindfolded, which is good. Pocket space. This depends on the routine you're performing. For the borrowed object routine I just mentioned, you can borrow the object, so all you need to carry are the 4 bags and the blindfold if you'd like to use it. Again, the blindfold is optional. However, there are some other routines that do require some more pocket space, but you wouldn't likely be carrying these in your pocket. You'd likely be carrying them in your magic briefcase, and then you'd pull it out when you're ready to perform. But the color match routine, for example, you need the slips of paper, you need the pens, which you provide yourself, you need the prediction, and you need the outline of the objects that they're going to draw in. So again, pocket space varies from routine to routine, but typically it's not too much. And again, you wouldn't carry it in your pocket, you would carry it in your briefcase, which is nice. It doesn't take up too much space in your briefcase at all. It packs really compact for the effects it can do. But yes, the pocket space isn't too much. One fun thing about this is that the gimmick or the system with this is really discreet, and even if you're blindfolded, you can't see a thing. Just by the sense of touch, you can access the information you need with this, which is really fun. But what is the reset like? The nature bag resets instantly. You can use it over and over again without having to do anything, which is nice. What is the price of the nature bag? The nature bag by Casey Tang costs $30 US. And I think that is a fair price for all the routines that you can do with this. And it's not just the 7 routines in the tutorial you can do with this. You can do more routines that you can come up with, which is really fun. And I really like this system. So I think this could have retailed for $40 US. So this is a really great price. What are the pros and cons with this? The pros are the system is very good and it is discreet, which is really nice. Your spectators aren't going to pick up on this by just looking at the props. The props are also very well made. There are many routines you can do with this. And also, for most of the effects, it's pretty easy to do. You can do this without much practice, which is nice. Still practice it, but you don't need all that practice for this. The price is good. This is a utility device. You can do color match without technology or fear of it failing, and that's really nice. You can also be completely surrounded. This resets instantly. Everything is examinable, and this should last you a very long time. I don't see anything that could break with this. Which is nice. The cons are some of the routines could have been a bit stronger, and also the effects aren't all necessarily extremely mind-boggling effects. Some of them are more guessing or mentalism routines. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but I just wanted to let you guys know so you're aware of what you're getting with this project. This is capable of doing some really high-stakes mentalism like the color match, or you could even do Russian roulette with this. But I'm just saying not all of the routines are like this. But that's it for the pros and cons. What percent am I giving the nature bag? I'm giving the nature bag an 88%. It's a really fun system. I think this will be great for a lot of people. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.